Welcome to Kenect The Dots, a podcast where we unlock the stories that connect each and every one of us. Hosted by me, Zach Day, in partnership with Kenect Nashville. How do you connect?
How do you connect? Everybody knows it every week. Same old question. How do you connect? I've been wondering. You know what I mean? Welcome back to another episode of Kenect The Dots podcast. I'm Zach Day, coming to you all the way from Kenect Phoenix in the beautiful and hot Phoenix, Arizona. It's been warm, y'all. Even though it's like October, it's been interesting. I've been thinking a lot about like what this holiday season is going to look like for me. I'm so used to just like the snow. I'm from Kentucky, so I'm used to snow and cold weather. My birthday's in December, so I'm like, you know, but it's going to be very different for me this year, I think. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm like, dang, it's still 100 degrees outside. Crazy, but hey, I'm loving it, y'all. Listen, this week I've got two guests with me. My first podcast with two guests, so I'm super excited. We should have a good time and a good conversation. With me today, I've got Jenna, DiMartino, and Kari Trummel from BestCompaniesAZ. Oh, welcome to the podcast.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Seriously, it's a pleasure to meet you all. I've heard a lot of great things from, you know, Carol, who we just had an episode with the other day. She kind of helped me set this up. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for doing this. And I know that we've got Kari. You're in Phoenix, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
are you born and raised in Phoenix? Where are you from?
No, Chicago. So I, too, right now want to have fall weather, and it's not happening. So I'm dying of heat with you.
Right. And then we've got Jenna, and you're all the way in Nashville right now, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, and where are you from?
I'm originally from Connecticut, so I'm a New England girl.
Okay.
And I just sent it down here with my boyfriend, and we're having the best time in our early 20s down here. We love it.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah, I remember those days. My early 20s were in Nashville too. So, how are you loving it? Are you loving Nashville? Loving the vibes? How long have you been there?
We've been here for about almost 2 years now.
Okay.
And if my dog cries, she's trying to play toy.
Oh, that's okay. She's a guest on the podcast too.
Well, we've been here about almost 2 years now, and we've really settled in, and we came knowing nobody. We really just, everyone asked, why did you come? We just came for the music and the fun times, and just to kind of get out of the heat, or I mean the cold up there. It's like so nice down here.
Right.
Although I love to snowboard, it's, you know, a small sacrifice to make for a good time and some great people. So we've had a great time so far.
Nice. Yeah, Nashville's really fun. I lived at Kenect Nashville for a little while, and then Kenect built Kenect Phoenix, and they were like, do you want to maybe go give that a try for a little bit? And I was like, sure. So this is my first time living in Arizona. It was actually my first time ever being in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, I just kind of was like, hey, you know what? Right. But, you know, I actually do like it. I think Phoenix is a cool city, but yeah, that heat, girl.
When did you move? What?
I moved here in like July, so it was like,
gosh.
it was
Kari
awful.
flew me out for my first meeting with them in July as well.
Yeah.
So it was also my first impression of 111 all week long.
Right.
Just dive in.
Yeah, exactly. You just kind of have to dive in head first and then see if you can make it through it. But I'm a trooper, and it's fine. I like it. I'm going to go up to the pool later today. So.
It grows on you, believe me. 22 years later, I'm still here, so.
Wow. So, yeah, so you're from Chicago, and then you moved to Phoenix, and you've been here for 22 years.
So it's like home, and it's close to everything. It's beautiful in its own way. It really does grow on you. So.
Do you ever go back to Chicago?
Yeah, I do.
Got family and friends out there and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I've been to Chicago a couple times, too. I'm a full-time singer, songwriter, musician, so like when I was in college and stuff, I would tour around, and I got to do Chicago. I played at like a church there or something. It was really random, and then I've seen some concerts there. So Chicago's a cool city. Yeah, it's a really cool city. I'd like to go back because they have like a lake there that can kind of be like a beach or something like that.
Lake Michigan has about 4 beaches, and so growing up, you can't see the other side of it, so you feel like it's an ocean.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
You genuinely can't see the other side of anything, so yeah.
That's so cool. I'm going to have to go back there and check that out. So
for sure.
Okay, Y'all, tell me a little bit about BestCompaniesAZ. If Jenna wants to take over here, I'd love to hear a little bit. Just like, if you could sum up what you guys do, just for the listeners, and help me out here. BestCompaniesAZ, take it away.
So BestCompaniesAZ, in one sentence, we connect the best companies in Arizona with the best talent. And we just are connecting great companies with great job seekers, and that's what we prioritize and are passionate about. And you know, it's been a great ride with some great women.
Yeah, that's amazing. That was something that really stood out to me when I was doing a little bit of research into you guys. Was like, it's a women-owned company founded by women, and women run this. So hey, who run the world? Girls. Women. And I love that. Exactly. So a lot of my questions today are kind of about that, about like being in business as women, and maybe some challenges that you faced or some obstacles that you've had to overcome, and then also like just seeing how much you guys have grown, and like you guys were nominated for Better Business Bureau Awards and all this other. It's really impressive. So congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
Could you maybe give me a little bit of a background on the company? Like, I know you mentioned that there's someone else, the CEO is a woman as well, but she isn't here today. But if you want to tell me a little bit about that, it'd be cool.
Yeah, Denise is our CEO and founder, and she had been in HR corporate world for years. And handling all of that for a very large Fortune 100 company. Then it was, some economic downturn, and she had to help outplace all of their employees. Essentially, everybody was getting laid off. And so she saw this need for, what do people do when they get laid off? What happens when you have all these quality candidates? Like, where do you go? And so then she felt led to start the company, BestCompaniesAZ. Picked a great name, right? Like, hey, random name pick. It was awesome.
Right.
And she really just started growing it from the bottom. And 22 years later, we're here and thriving. And so she has, helped start several different award programs, because one of the things that we do is work with award-winning companies. So they aren't just like us telling you they're the best companies. They're legitimately the best companies because they have these awards that their employees, do surveys and give them. And so it's been really neat to see just the ebbs and flows of what she's done over the last 22 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, Kari, have you been with the company since the whole time you've been in Phoenix for 22 years?
No, I wish. I've been in marketing and advertising for 20-some years, and I've only been with BestCompaniesAZ for about 3 years now.
Wow. Okay, cool. So I guess when you kind of heard about this opportunity, what did that look like for you? Like, were you searching for, like, I want to work at a place that's like ran by women, or like, they've got these awards, they've been around for 22 years. How did you find yourself working for BestCompaniesAZ?
I had never heard about BestCompaniesAZ. I was not even looking for a job. I had a friend of a friend send me a text and say, hey, you should check this out. He and I had worked together. I had run a company with him before, and he said, you should check this opportunity out. It's another small company. They need, this, that, and you'd do a great job. I think you'd really like Denise. And so I was like, I'm not sure I'm not looking. It's not a fit. But had a conversation with Denise, and just we got along so well, and I just really, really liked her passion and her enthusiasm, and we just, started to see what it could be. And 3 years later, here I am.
That's amazing. I mean, that's so important, I think, and it's just it's just interesting because you have to kind of keep an open mind, because you never know what kind of opportunities could like present themselves for you. And then we've got Jenna here, who was just telling me before you hopped on, Kari, that she started out as an intern for the company. So if you want to tell me a little bit about that, Jenna, was that like what kind of, were you living in Nashville before you took that opportunity, or how did that kind of come about for you?
Yeah, I've actually been at the company for almost 4 years now. So I've been here a little longer than Kari, but I know Denise because Denise is a family friend of mine, and my mother's company that she works for is Voya Financial, and they used to be one of our clients for a long time. So she ended up connecting me with Denise while I was still in college as a marketing major. And I had one meeting with Denise, and we completely clicked, and I was super excited to just be involved with such a great company that's doing such great things. And I was able to learn so much because we're so small. And going through COVID and everything, I was able to keep that internship while most of the kids that were juniors in college, like me, all their internships were canceled and they couldn't work. And I was so fortunate to just have this opportunity that's completely remote from the get-go. And, and it's taught me so much because we're so small. I was taught email marketing. I was taught data analytics, the social media side over time, and some sales even worked in. So it's been a really, really great opportunity to gain experience on such a small, non-corporate level. And I think that for me, I just value that so much for the rest of my career. And it's just been such a blessing, really, from the beginning.
That's so cool. Wow. Congratulations. That's amazing that you've been able to find something that you really enjoy doing and like you get to do remote work. Let me tell you, I work remote too. I love whenever I'm not performing or playing shows, cause that kind of keeps me super busy. But I also do this for Kenect, and then we get to do these remote podcasts and stuff like that, and it's a really great opportunity. So I agree with you on that.
I was in Connecticut, so I was still in college, and they were shutting down for COVID, and I was still able to learn and get that experience in, and then I was able to move to Nashville too. So I can go
let me give Jenna a little shout out though, because Jenna's not your typical post grad. She definitely took the opportunity with the internship and just excelled tremendously to where she was such an asset to us that there was no question we wanted her on the team after she graduated. And she's just continued to grow and take on anything that she can to learn and continue adding things to her repertoire. And so she's just ambitious. She's a go-getter, and it's awesome to see, because there's I've seen in my career a lot of people not take the opportunity for internships. And that's a for sure job almost, I mean, it's like a no-brainer to me, and she understands that and took advantage of that. And so
it's hard on the screen, it's really hard to do that not in person. And I think a lot of of my peers struggle with that connection. So, I always say, to Zach too, I owe it to the musical theater in me from high school that I'm able to, do the social and
I mean, that makes sense. I feel like in today's world too, it's just I mean, especially okay, for example, everybody that I have on this podcast are hustlers, go-getters, driven kind of people, and so you have to really want it, or it's just no one's gonna do the work for you, right? So so I appreciate you giving her that shout out, because I'm sure you've worked super hard and you know what you want. So again, congratulations on just figuring that out and being a go-getter. I think it's super important. So let's talk a little bit about BestCompaniesAZ as well. So is this a website that anyone could kind of go and see and maybe apply for a job, or what does it look like for someone who, say it's me, if I want to go find a really good job and I'm qualified, would I be able to just do that, or is it something that you guys recruit me the other way around? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I can answer this a little bit. We do a bunch of virtual hiring events with people asking the same questions. So it's for anybody. It's for anybody that is looking for a job. A lot of people, we search people that have been laid off and kind of recommend certain companies, and we attend a lot of hiring events and elevate these great companies and kind of show what they're worth and their great benefits. And that's kind of part of the employer branding side of our clients, but we're also helping these job seekers narrow their job search. So I think what I tell a lot of people is, instead of going to Google and just saying, oh, what's the best company that's going to help me, be flexible and be a working mom, or, it's really hard to find a company that's going to give you all those things. And so what we do is we narrow that search for you. So we try to make it a resource for anybody that's looking for great work and a great job with meaning and purpose and flexibility, really. Just to elevate these companies and show them, hey, this is where you should apply because they're going to treat you really well. And it helps a lot of people, especially in Arizona and nationwide, for people looking for remote jobs. Ever since COVID, that kind of became a trend, and we've got that reach now, which is great. And a lot of these people find it as a great resource to find these companies and get their dream role, really.
Right, yeah. That's amazing. I love to hear that. Have you guys noticed or encountered any specific challenges or barriers as a company that has been ran by women? Because I'm a girl's girl, so I'm always like, supporting my girls out there. And I know that I feel like today's society is really just male driven. So I would love to hear on y'all's end if there's anything you could say about some challenges or ways that you've overcome that as a woman in this industry.
I think this industry is rare because it doesn't have that discrimination per se. I've been very impressed. I've come from a very corporate background and then marketing and advertising world where it's very much a man's world you're living in, and you're running, you're trying to fight for your way in as the woman, right? So I've grown up in my career in that way. But this industry really, HR is a more female driven industry. So it's not rare. It's almost the opposite, if anything.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool to know. Have you noticed any innovative strategies that have been implemented in your all's company? And if you do know of any that could come up the top of your head, could you share those with me? How do y'all stand out from maybe other types of businesses that are doing similar things?
Yeah, Kari, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, think about that for a second.
No, that's a big one.
I think we always try to stay ahead of the game as much as we can with, what is the focus for people? What are companies offering? And then what are job seekers looking for? Trying to utilize, the latest and greatest to help educate job seekers on. And then, the industry hiring doesn't change that much, right? It kind of stays pretty consistent from our side.
Yeah.
I don't know. Elaborate on that too. Yeah. What I've noticed with trends and, just creating content that we're posting and trying to elevate our clients as well as help these job seekers is, I see a lot of people passively applying, so it's making it very competitive for these job seekers. And we get to talk to them on virtual hiring events and kind of just see that pain that they're going through. And it's really hard for these people, especially people that have been laid off, that have a lot of great experience, and they're getting turned down because there's so many applicants that still have a job, that they're up against. And it's really tough for them. So to see those trends and to kind of work around and try to help them tailor their resume, work around AI as a tool, not be scared of the technology that is
ChatGPT.
Right.
Yeah, utilizing it. Yeah.
Educating people on that it's not a scary thing and it's not going to replace anything and it's not cheating and it's a tool to be used. No different than, a knife in the kitchen. It's a tool to be used. Any tool can be misused, and I think that it's really important to educate yourself on what's happening and the new things that are coming out, and to not be afraid of it, because it's going to help you and it's going to help them. It's very tedious to apply to jobs and to tailor your resume.
A full-time job.
Yeah.
Right.
We got to use AI to kind of help speed up that process and make it a little bit more realistic for people that, because you got to tailor your resume nowadays, just because all these recruiters are getting so many more applications from the passively applying, and then they have to run it through some sort of AI to at least get some keyword matches in there to help them out, because they can't realistically read thousands of resumes. They'd be working overtime, and so it's really hard to play that catch up. So you got to know what's going on in the back end, and play that game a little bit. And make sure you're tailoring your resume, using those keywords in the job description to kind of get you an interview and get you up at the top. So. Wow.
Yeah, that's it's just so interesting to think about that, because I'm sure I mean, thank God I haven't had to apply for any jobs in a
Right,
while.
right.
But I know that struggle for sure, and it's very intimidating, and especially just like when you look at your resume and it's been a few years, you're like, whoa, I gotta like completely
Right.
change this. Yeah.
Right. Or you start applying and it's like hopeless. You're sending your resume out into the abyss and you're getting nothing back. And it's very hard on people emotionally, you know. And so I think we
Totally.
try to help them by, you know, understanding the struggle and helping them get better at what they're doing so they can see better results. And then also showing them, hey, here's these amazing companies, they're award winning. And oh, by the way, they provide great culture and benefits. Here, you know, see if
Yeah.
you fit any of those jobs. So
That's amazing. Yeah, and also just going back to a little bit of like ways that you guys stand out and like challenges that you've had to overcome. So I feel like even doing something like this, the podcast, you know, and like and putting like your all's faces out there to talk
Right.
about like you're really proud of this company and you want to, you know, put it out there for everybody to hear about, and like that's part of it. I mean, I don't know, maybe one of you guys could also answer, maybe Jenna, since I know you said you worked a little bit with the social media stuff. Like, what kind of role has social media played in the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first started out, we didn't have much social media going on. It was definitely a process to learn kind of our niche and, you know, who we were hitting, because we also have to, you know, promote our clients, but we also have to provide a resource for job seekers. So playing, you know, two games like that is kind of a difficult marketing social media task to, you know, get going and be successful. So I think we've kind of figured out our tactic of doing a little bit of both, and just making sure that we're giving content for job seekers to better themselves so that our clients are getting quality candidates applying. So
Right.
not only are we educating them on how to, you know, work on their skills and build up their resume, make their LinkedIn stand out, those types of tips, to like interview tips, all that stuff, like types of questions they can practice with, so that when they do the interview, they're a standout candidate for, you know, our clients, and we're telling them to apply there. So we want to help people, and we just want to help the companies and the job seekers be the best that they could be at all times. So that's
And I think
content we've gotten out there.
And Denise has the HR background, which is amazing, right? You need that background. And I have the marketing background. And so when I came on board, I was able to kind of work in some strategies to help market ourselves, but then also market our clients. And so social media was one of those that we needed a stronger presence. We needed a strategy around it. And so I think it's a great mix having that HR and marketing mind, because you're hitting the whole, you know, realm. You're hitting the HR people who we talk to, but we also are a marketing company, right? That's what we do 90%. I mean, Jenna's day-to-day and my day-to-day is marketing, right?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah.
And it's
Interesting.
also establishing trends between more specific things like, are we doing reels? Are we doing carousels? Are we doing, and what's trending? What's really
Oh my
moving into
gosh.
TikTok and being into TikTok, you know, Jenna had to convince me, like, yes, TikTok is business. I'm like, oh, I lose hours at night laughing on it, but I don't think of it as a business tool. But yes, it is, right? I mean, people are searching.
Yeah.
So
100%. I mean, like the things that social media has done for like my life personally, changed my life, got me like to live here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just, it's crazy. And like, I don't know, I always think about social media. It is such a tool that you can use. I mean, in the music industry too, it's like, you've got to be promoting yourself. And like, that's how all these people right now are like blowing up, because of something like TikTok and Instagram. It's just so crazy.
It's
so
your
like,
sales reel.
yeah, 100%. 100%. I have literally a vocal reel of all of my stuff, and it's just, it's insane. But social media is just, it's changing the game, and I feel like it's not going anywhere either. So that would be another question I would have for you guys, is like, what do you feel like the future of Best Companies AZ looks like, maybe in the next like 10 years with all this, you know, social media, AI, all this other stuff? How do you feel like the future of Best Companies AZ is going to utilize these tools, and where do you see the company soon?
Well, I could answer this in a way that, you know, big picture, I think with COVID happening and us having that national reach, I think we are trying to utilize and grow our audience instead of a regional focus. It's more national now, and it's a lot of companies are hiring remote, so we need to make it, you know, a little bit bigger than Arizona. So I think you know, Kari, if you want to elaborate on that, I think that's kind of what we're looking at right now.
Yeah. We're definitely a regional presence, but with a national reach that we have the potential to really gain traction in a lot of other cities and states. And we do already, right? We have Texas, we have California, we have Wyoming. I don't know why, but when you look at our analytics, there's tons of people that are coming to our website from Wyoming. And so we're really trying to continue to grow that and just continue to develop relationships with, you know, different states, different companies that are nationwide. And, you know, I think the future is us figuring out how to help job seekers continue to navigate the ever-changing application process, right? And
Absolutely.
what that look like and helping our, you know, clients with that too. Because one of the things that we see on the client side is, you know, they don't have the staff to do all that they need. So we come in as kind of a right hand to them and help them fulfill, you know, open jobs and open roles and help coach them on awards and things like that. So it's, you know, it's only going to get more competitive for companies and
definitely
for showing what they do for a job seeker. And so that's really our role, is to help them figure out how to communicate it the best way possible and get it out to job seekers.
And that's where those award programs come in. So, you know, we do a lot of consultation on building that award repertoire for these companies, because having more than one award is really attractive. So we do a lot of different things for these companies and help them in whatever way that they need. And if we see a need there for them to keep building that, just to elevate their employer brand so that they become more attractive, that's what we help them do as well.
I think another opportunity for us is to come in and find some of these companies that are just starting or smaller and help them grow, right? Because the big ones, a lot of the big ones have stuff down, right? They're great. They have great benefits, great cultures. But how do we start kind of the same thing as mentoring in business? You know, eventually the baby boomers are moving out. Who's stepping in? Like, eventually I'm out. Who's stepping in? And how do you mentor and guide and grow the next group of people? And so what's that next group of companies? There's tons of amazing small startups. Get them awards. They don't have to be 1,000 employees to get an award. They do a great job, right? So I think there's opportunity there.
To think that we could help grow that industry and elevate these companies that deserve recognition that don't have it yet is such a cool thought, because, you know, you're feeding the community, you're elevating these companies that don't have, you know, that branding and that recognition, right? And it's really cool that we have an influence in, you know, the community and the, you know,
the future.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exciting. No,
lots of power going on behind the scenes with just 3 women. So
wow, that's amazing. I love that. I want to ask too, I always ask my guests this on this podcast, because like I said, everybody that I ever interview on here are like hustlers, go-getters, work really, really hard. But I think that part of life is to kind of find that work-life balance. What do you guys do personally in your free time, or if you get free time, or just like, what do you do maybe at the end of the day to kind of relax and disconnect a little bit and just find that personal time? Because getting burnt out is like, it happens, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I'd love to hear about what you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, living in Nashville, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, there's a million concerts on a Monday, Tuesday, every day of the week is a weekend. So it's really great. And I've been able to meet so many great people. Like I said before, we came here, knew nobody. And we're pretty social people, so we were kind of just hoping to meet a new group of people, and everybody here is kind of coming for the same reason. So I live in a great apartment building in the Gulch. It's called the Albion. And I'm right down the street from the Kenect, so we're almost in the Kenect is in Midtown, so I'm a little bit over, but it's just been a great community just to live in an apartment in Nashville, and I love to hang out with my neighbors.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, hey, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. What about you, Kari? What do you do to relax or find that peace?
I'm a single mom of a 10-year-old son, so I do 5th grade math.
Okay.
Love.
At the end of my day, it's homework time.
Oh, no.
But when we're not doing that, he's pretty active in sports, or we hike. I do some yoga.
You went to Universal
reading.
this weekend.
Yes, I was just in Universal Studios. We went for fall break, so We do a lot of traveling when we can too. So
Nice.
trying to
I love
get him.
that.
I try to get the travel bug in him when he's young. You know.
Did you go to the Halloween Horror Nights yet?
Okay, so it's funny you asked that. They have that, but my son would not be scared. I would be scared.
Okay.
Like, I was scared of what they had during the day. I was like, can't go. Like, I'm not a
Right.
scary movie person
Okay.
at all. He would have been fine.
Right.
We went and we did a studio tour of the Bates Motel, you know, the Psycho.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. And he was like, ooh, you should go closer. I'm like,
Right.
oh my, we are,
Yeah.
something got missed there because I'm like,
You guys are opposites there. Yeah, no, I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm hoping I get to go out there maybe for Halloween Horror Nights because I love scary movies. I love
It
stuff
is
like that.
Universal was fantastic, I will say. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a theme park person, but it was really fun. So I would go
Okay.
if I can. And it's
Good-
just like a
good to know.
5-hour drive.
Yeah, I know. I'm
It's
I'm
so
like
close.
I'm all the time in LA and I'm flying out there kind of too much. So I think
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna start driving out there now. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, it's just a
Yeah.
5-hour drive. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you guys will you please give us maybe the website or like how we could find Best Companies AZ for all the listeners out there? Feel free to just shout it out and let us know.
Yeah, it's www.bestcompaniesaz.com.
Easy enough, right?
Yes. Or just type Best Companies in and we come up.
It comes
so.
right up.
Perfect. Okay, good.
Yes.
Well, it was really nice to meet you, ladies. Thank you so much for doing the podcast.
course.
And hopefully we'll have you guys on again sometime.
Yeah.
And then from all of us here at Kenect Phoenix and Kenect Nashville, be sure to come back and join us next week. I think that's going to do it. See you next
Awesome.
time. Bye.
Thank you.